gonna walk straight off. Yo, look at him go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing today? My name is Bilify, and today we are here to counter a glove. Which glove might that be? Why, of course it's the Golem glove! And these are going to be the amazing goobers that are going to be helping us to figure out what counters this brand new Golem glove. They're kind of covered up right now, but from left to right we got Gravity, Bio, Hatmasters, Show, Ivan, and Pyro. I appreciate all of you. Oh, and Carl, who just joined, who has no idea what's going on. Shout out to every single one of them. They're all awesome. But let's go ahead and let's get into this. Ooh, it seems as though golems can't cross bridges. So with the base golem, it is dodgeable by just walking around and dodging to the left and right. You don't want to go straight back because he does have the rock smash like that. You would always want to jump to the sides, but are you able to dodge the golem by using small movement gloves like default? Alright, while they are targeting, ooh, they are quick, but I can see this helping a lot. I wouldn't use it when it's right up next to you, but like if they're getting close, this can definitely help. Yeah, I can see it being useful. Not a top, but something that can evade. I wouldn't say that this is a counter that I would specifically go to. If you wanted to go into a turtle shell and just wait for the golem to disappear, you could use the rocks, but this is not what I would use. If I were to use the rocks, I'd either use custom or mega rock. But again, when you're in this form, this is just basically a turtle shell. You are gonna hide in here until the golem goes away. So if you're looking to waste time, the rocks are your move. Flash is a movement glove, so it'd be like default. If you got a golem targeting you, this can create a lot of space, but this is just a movement. This isn't a solid full counter. So let's say you do have them coming after you. You could do that and go target the person. But yeah, you could teleport like that. Not the most effective thing you could use, but it does work for movement if you wanted to do something like that. Can you spring jump over the golem hits? Ooh. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. Ooh, okay, so you have to do it before he even begins the animation, because if you do it as he's jumping, it's not gonna work out. So jump before he even does the smack, and you can jump over it. Spring can work, but is this a solid option? Definitely not. They're so much better. LOL bomb's not really a counter. This is just like you can run up to them and explode, and the golem won't affect you. So say you slap them, and then you go into this form. None of the golem attacks are gonna affect you, but you're dead, so is it really the trade-off you want to do? Can you put up a fort wall to block the golem that's chasing? So place the wall in front of you and keep running. Does it block them? Oh, it does. Oh, he can still shoot through. I forgot about that. I was gonna go place another wall. So I would hit them, run this way, place the wall, and then always stay to the other side of the wall and watch out for rocks like that. And then just keep placing walls to hinder them from chasing you down. They can still hit you through the walls, so this is only gonna be a 50% counter. Pusher is gonna be a top counter here because you can push the golem away. Do we have golems? Well, we're about to not have golems, that's for sure. Oh, he went through. Do they clip through? Okay, no. Okay. The first time was a fluke. Okay, I got real scared for a second there. All right, let's see, just to make sure. Yeah, you could easily push off the golem. So Pusher is going to be the first top counter on this list as it can nullify the golem fully, and you win the cooldown battle. Speedrun, you could consider a top counter because the golem would never catch you. So let's say, for example, we have someone and we hit them. The golem will never be able to catch up, and you can always slap them like that and keep going back and keep going in circles. And golem will never, ever be able to catch up to you, and you can always just go back and slap that user. Definitely going to give Speedrun a top counter here. Even though you can still be hit, it's just going to be real hard for a golem to do that, and that's why I like it at a top counter. With Golden, do you have enough time to bully them off of the edge in power up and remove the golem? Alright, so you can't be targeted in this mode. It will not allow that. If you go golden form, you can't be hit or hurt either. So if you end up removing the person off of the map, their golem dies. So with golden, you're gonna have to target them and make sure you get them off the edge. They get their ability back a little bit before you do. At the O and power up, I'm only gonna say that this is 50-50. Now what happens with Mister? You can be targeted while in this form, but if you're being beaten by a golem, realistically, I don't think you should have any worries because look, the knockback's nothing, dude. It is nothing. If you end up getting targeted, you just go to a different island like this and just wait, and the golem won't be able to target you over here. So they'll either have to call it off or they'll have to, that. So I'm gonna say that this is like a 75% counter, somewhere around there. What happens with clones? No, the clones can't be hit by golem. So yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really know what you do with that information, but it is information. Not a counter, but I mean, I guess a good deterrent in a way. What happens with the reverse glove? Oh, it hits the user. You could really troll them. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They're gonna have to take the golem off of a reverse user pronto, or they're gonna get absolutely bullied by somebody who just sits here and does this. Yo, it effectively oofs itself. That's crazy. So I'm easily gonna put this up at the top counter list. Balloony is a good movement glove. So say, for example, you hit them and then you use the balloons. If you go up in the air and hover the side like this, the golem's just gonna walk straight off. Yo, look at him go. Where are you going? Dude, this is a golem remover. Oh my goodness. I don't know why they moonwalk backwards like that, though. That's crazy. Well, it's definitely easy to say Balloony shocked me really badly. This is my favorite. At the end, I'm gonna say reverse is the best and Balloony's my favorite. Even though, maybe not. Maybe Balloony's the best. Who knows? Ping Pong and Slicer can be good deterrent gloves, and these would be the only two deterrents out of the list I usually say right here, just because they would phase through the golem and hit the player, which would help you try to knock them off to destroy the golem, but don't miss. That's the biggest thing with these deterrents is don't miss, which with Slicer it should be a lot easier, but you're not going to get as much knockback. Ping Pong, you're going to get a lot more knockback, but it's a skill shot, so good deterrents, not counters. Grapple can be a really good evading glove. This is like Balloony, but a less Balloony, if that makes any sort of sense. So what I mean by that is you can slap one of them and then use the grapple to go to something like this where you're on the opposite side of the islands and it'll force the golem to walk across and drop like that. Sometimes they walk across the air, which if that's the case, just go back across, but oh, what a landing. Grapple's an option that can be used. What happens if you're in a cloud? No matter what the move is, I think as long as you're in the cloud, you're perfectly fine. And if they are targeting you, you could just bring the cloud over the void and that happens. Parry's good for dodging, but you can't parry the actual golem. Yeah, can't parry it, but if you do have them chasing, you could obviously just do the dash like that and run. I would definitely say parry is just like default, things of that nature with small movement that can help, so 50-50 for parry. Can you be targeted while in illusion form? You can, but the good thing to note with this is if you do end up getting hit off of the edge by the rocks, because you're using Jebaited, you get teleported back. The bad problem though is... oh. Did the golem follow? Alright, so let's see. Does the golem follow if it's close enough to the edge and you get hit off? It does. Oh, how interesting. Oh, you can kind of use illusion in that sense to bait the golem off of the edge. Hopefully you get hit a second time and it baits the golem off while you come back up. Oh, that's a good bait. It lives up to the Jebaited name. So Jebaited is going to be about like a 75% counter, maybe even more. I don't know yet. Ferryman's dash is just like Parry, but it takes a little bit longer to use. I'd probably use Parry over this. You can dodge it, but Parry is definitely a better option than Ferryman if you're going to use one of these two gloves. How effective is Blink? Alright, so targeted, they could still see us in this form, but are we hittable? Oh, no! The rocks don't affect you either, so you could use this as a really good combo glove. If you hit your friend and then go into the blink form and stand near other people, it will attack and they have no idea why. Or, well, they can see the little red line, but it will attack them. So blink's gonna be a top counter here, just because you can avoid being hit by just going into the blink form itself. You could always fight Golem with Golem and have Golem wars, even though the Golems really don't attack each other. It'd be like Pokemon, like, I choose you, Golem, and then they'd be like, I choose you, Golem, and then the Golems would attack the humans and not each other. So, yeah! As soon as the Golem's master dies, the Golem does as well. Out of all the one-shots, God's Hand's gonna be the worst at that because it doesn't immediately oof the user. They have to fly into the void to die. The Flex, Air, and Overkill all immediately oof them, so the Golem would immediately be oofed. The good upside for God's Hand, though, is it does have stop time, and I don't think the Golems do anything in there. This looks like that one gorilla video where it's spinning around in the water, you know what I mean? Where it's just like... Alright, while in time stop, these do not move, and they can't spawn them in, so it can be effective. What happens if you're a Titan? You can be targeted, and if you get hit, I believe it's just going to be something like that where you slowly fall down. Yeah, each time is going to be a slow fall down. You can't knock them away, but you can just go target the user that put the Golem on you in the first place. Titan, I honestly want to put at a top counter. Acrobat's just like default with having that same movement. Good for dodging, but that's about it. 50-50. You can keep yourself safe with phase and drag them off the edge if they do end up chasing you. So let's say you hit one and you're being chased. You could always bait them to the edge. You could just drag them off of the side, and they can't hit you with anything. This is a good saving glove, but it's nowhere near a top counter. Bomb Bubble and Jet, I would say, are good deterrents. Good for offense, but none of it's going to help you if you have the Golem chasing you. What about Shard, though? After you land the hit, does it aggro? No, it doesn't. Okay. You could use this to hit the Golem user to slow them down so that you can catch up to them and so you can hit them off of the edge. But you gotta land your shots. Not a top counter, nowhere near it, but something that can work. Hybrid speed and other abilities can be very useful in this situation. So let's say you hit them with power and now you're aggroed. You could use the speed to run away very effectively. It's like Speedrun, but a little nerfed. And you could always just run to an island and they will not cross bridges, which is the funny part about it. So Hybrid's not a top counter, but really good. Can you be hit while in a Slapple tree? I think as long as you're in this tree, the Golem's not going to be able to hit you. While in this tree form, I'd wait for the Golem to smack, and then I would drop down and then use another tree. It should nerf them going after you because they're not going to be able to hit you at all. As far as a counter goes, I wouldn't say that this is a top counter. I would say maybe around like 75% of a counter on this. You're probably going to get hit, but fish can be effective to fight the user and slightly ignore the Golem. So let's say you do get hit by the Golem, you can use the fish to flop back and then continuously try to target the other user who spawned in the Golem itself. You should pretty much not have to worry about most of the Golem abilities if you're dodging well. It can be consistently good, but it doesn't have enough to it, if that makes sense. I'm only going to put this at like a 60% counter. What happens with Rob? Alright, if targeted and you go into Rob form, you could easily panic with that and not be hit. And you could always use this to just go and target the user that cast in the Golem. Super effective, and you get your ability back faster. Rob is a top counter. It's been a while since I've said that. Rhythm is just like Speedrun with the faster speeds. It's going to be really hard for Golem to catch up. Plus you have the yellow shockwave tiles, which can be effective to hit the user off, oofing the Golem. But in this situation, I would probably use Speedrun over Rhythm. Retro can be good here. You do have the bomb ability, which means you can get out of danger really quickly. You could also use the rocket launcher from distance and shoot them. That does work. But the bomb is going to be the biggest thing here with the movement. If you do end up getting cornered, you could just go right above the Golem like that. This isn't the best option that you could use, but it is something that does work. Null can be an effective deterrent, but I don't know about counter. If they're close enough to target you, you're close enough to cast the Null minions on them. So, as long as you're dodging the Golem, they're gonna have to dodge your minions. So this is basically a trade-off of dodging. Not the ideal counter you would want. This is just something where, let's try to see who can dodge better. I think you should be fully safe with Alchemist's Invincible Potion. Grab a mushroom and grab some of the elderwood right there. Place down a cauldron, throw in 1 elderwood and 2 mushrooms. Click the ladle, get yourself an invincible potion, and if you become a target, drink your invincible potion, and if they try to hit you, nothing will happen. As soon as they hit, use this to slap the user off the edge, and once they die, so does their Golem. That's an effective way, or you could get other potions, whatever you might desire. I think I'm going to say that Alchemist is a top counter here. Iceskate's going to be a good movement glove, just like Default or Speedrun or any of those. Use this to go to an opposite island or something and make them stop targeting you with Golem. Using the admin flop ability, same concept as Iceskate. Just use this to smack them around, and if you're being chased, fling yourself to one of the opposite islands until the Golem is dead. What happens when you're on Juan? It's really hard for the Golem to hit you if you're moving, but it can hit you. And if you do collide with them, ooh, it doesn't make the Golem angry. Okay. Not a top counter for Joust, but 85%, something like that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be our counters for this brand new Golem glove. Shout out to everybody that you do see on your screen. Pyro, Ivan, Hatmasters, Show, Gravity, Bio, and the people you don't see on your screen, Mew, Foxy, and Carl. I appreciate all of you. Which glove was your favorite glove to see? I think for me, easily, it had to be Balloony. It was just so cool to see the Michael Jackson Golem traversing the void. That was my favorite. Let me know what yours is, and also let me know which counter you thought was the best. For me, I also want to say Balloony, but at the same time, I think I might say Reverse. It was just too good, you know? Let me know your thoughts on both of those. But other than that, from all of us, we all hope that you have an amazing rest of your day or night whenever you do end up watching this, and we will see you in Regretivator. Later!